UBC Radio Network, your national preferred choice. We broadcast all over Uganda and beyond. Join us on 98 FM in Kampala, 99.4 FM Lira, and 97.4 FM Arua. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
UBC Radio brings you fresh information from different corners of Uganda.
Yeah. Every hour, all day.
I really like it. Stay tuned.
Miss.
Hello listener, I welcome you to this week's edition of your number one program, The Gender Forum. My name is Maureen Akatukunda, and I'm here once again to talk to you about issues concerning us in our communities, workspace, home, issues to do with both genders, the female and the male equally. And this week is a very special week. We are looking and celebrating women. On Thursday, we'll be celebrating our International Women's Day. That will be 8th March. But today on 6th, Monday, we are here to also join the rest of the country to be in the mood, to energize, to celebrate the women. Because the women are part of even the men. So, we are joining the rest of the country to celebrate the women as we approach the International Women's Day. Well, this year, the theme is Equal Opportunities in Education, Science and Technology for Innovation, and a Gender Equal Future. Gender Equal Future. And that is what we advocate for here on the Gender Forum. This day is celebrated annually on the 8th of March. On that day, achievements on the delivery of the gender equality and women's empowerment are highlighted. The day also serves as a call to action for accelerating progress towards gender equality and women's empowerment. The 2023 International Women's Day is celebrated under the global theme Digital All, Innovation for a Gender Equal Future. So I'm joined by Councillor Josephine, who is going to tell us more about herself, and we want to look at the digital future for the ladies. In this program, we're going to have so much, and this theme emphasizes the need for inclusive and transformative technology and innovations where women themselves have the opportunity to create and harness new solutions that offer fresh perspectives to difficult problems. So, in this program, what are you expecting this evening? We are going to look at quite a few things because of the time limitation, and one will be what is equal, what do you understand by the term equal opportunity? Then, the gender equal future. That is a very key word, and we are emphasizing it tonight. Then we want to know, how has Uganda tried to bring out equal opportunities? Then women inclusion in technology. Are women adopting? Are they picking up? Are they being included? Are they being trained? We are also going to look at why we choose in this era to emphasize the need for everyone to catch up with technology. Then we are going to look at the difference between science and technology. We want to know what is the difference, how are they related. Then the challenges that are in obtaining this goal. And then finally, we will look at how education is helping us drive us to this goal. So we have so much for you today. Just stay tuned. This is the Gender Forum. Remember, it's on every Monday evening from 9:15 p.m. to 10 p.m. with me, Maureen Akatukunda. So, Council, you're very welcome. Could you introduce yourself to us? You're a great friend of the Gender Forum, and we thank you for inspiring the ladies wherever you go.
Thank you so much, Maureen, for having me. My name is Josephine Luzige. I'm a lawyer by profession. I work with Luzige Lubega Kavuma and Company Advocates. I should say it's a great week for the Gender Forum show, especially. This is the week of women. It's our week, and I'm happy to be here talking about us.
Wow. So, Council, without wasting time, can you tell us what they mean by equal opportunity? For you lawyers, you talk about fairness, you promote equality. So what do we mean by equal opportunity in this context of this theme?
Thank you so much. Well, equal opportunity, I should first explain, is the ability for both genders to stand on the same platform and try to access different facilities, different opportunities that are available, basically on the same platform. I cannot begin to speak about equal opportunity without speaking about the foundation of such equal opportunities in the country. If we look at the grand law, that is the law that governs us all, the greatest law of the land, which is the Constitution. The Constitution advocates for equal opportunity, and by this there is an entire chapter in our Constitution, which is the 4th chapter, that is against discrimination. That means that all Ugandans should be taken on the same platform. They should be equal despite their race, despite their age, despite their religious affiliations. So when we talk about equal opportunity, we cannot fail to talk about the Constitution.
Yeah, the Bill of Rights. And we are very glad that our mother law, the law that we really, really respect and uphold, talks about this great aspect of equality. Because we know that we can all do it. Given the same opportunities, we can all do it. There is this WhatsApp social media post I already see people making fun of, but it's actually not funny at all, where they say that in that post, you look at people in a race.
Yeah, true.
And the men are running, and the ladies, they have to start at the same time. But in front of the ladies, their clothes is to wash. Their children waiting to be fed. Their utensils to, a whole of these things are in front of us as women.
True.
Is there equality really?
Well, basically, that brings us to a main or key discussion, which is about being equal and then equality. The difference, the semantics between those two, equality versus equity. So basically, when we talk about equality, it brings out an aspect of being the same in, it could be appearance, in quantity or degree, but equity is the ability for everyone to stand on the same platform despite their obligations. If we advocated for equality, that would mean that all the females are supposed to be exactly like the males. But with equity, just like you say, we want the women to have the same opportunities that men have, despite the fact that, yes, they have a lot of obligations.
These gender roles that have been put before them.
Yes, exactly.
The gender roles of a woman should do this, a woman should do that. So, okay, we think that we can be able to work on that. Now, what is a gender equal future? What can we describe that to be?
Thank you so much, Maureen. I was quite amazed when I looked at the theme for this year, which is, just like you mentioned, equal opportunities in education, science and technology for innovation and a gender equal future. When we talk about gender, we talk about the existence of males and females, the genders that we are given at birth, which describe inherently who we are. So when we talk about a gender equal future, that means that with the theme, with the 2023 theme, we are aiming at a generation, or we are aiming to obtain in the future, the next generations to come, circumstances or an environment, a Uganda, where both a woman and a man can equally or can go out there, stand on the same platform and obtain opportunities out there irrespective of gender. So that is basically a rough picture of what gender equal future is. A future that advocates for both females and males despite their differences.
Okay, thank you so much, Josephine. So now that brings us to, we want to know if Uganda and how Uganda is trying to bring out these equal opportunities.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Basically, Uganda is one of the many sub-Saharan African countries that have strongly advocated for equal opportunity for women, for men, gender inclusion. It strongly advocates for women to take up spaces that men take up. Just like we began, the first step that Uganda took in availing equal opportunities, in recognizing that women should not be treated differently from the men because they are women, was in 1995 when they promulgated our constitution. Now in the constitution we have the national objectives and of state policy and directive principles of state policy. If we look at objective number 15, it recognizes the role of women in society. Before we even go to the Bill of Rights, these objectives and principles of state policy, they are the mandate, they are the sole foundation of the Constitution and the sole foundation of a country as a whole. When we look at Objective 15 specifically, women are recognized. That without the role of women appreciated or recognized in a country, there could be trouble. And I believe it is from such objectives like objective number 15 that we have the Bill of Rights that provides for the fact that no one is to be discriminated against on grounds of sex, on grounds of gender. So Uganda has taken a lot of positive steps. The first one is the Constitution. Then there are very many policies. There are very many policies that avail equal opportunities to women. Then I could go ahead and talk about the existence of an entire ministry. If we look at the executive of the Republic of Uganda, if we look at the different ministries, they are basically ministries for everything. For health, for transport, for each sector basically. So there is a ministry that has been designated for the women. The Ministry of Gender. It has an entire office, it has an entire building, and this ministry is actively and every single day it takes up duties to ensure that gender equality takes place in Uganda, is recognized in Uganda. So while I can't say that we have satisfactorily availed equal opportunities to the women, there are steps that show. This week alone, we have a public holiday.
On Thursday.
Women's Day. Yes, on Thursday.
People are looking forward to it.
So much. So, that's a step in the right direction. So, Uganda as a country has not only promulgated the laws, the constitution, but they go ahead and say that for the women, there should be a day that celebrates them. There should be a month, where our affairs are taken an extra step higher. So it's a beautiful thing.
Okay. With that, we're going to go for a very short break. You're still listening to your number one program, the Gender Forum program. It's on every Monday evening from 9:15 p.m. to 10 p.m. only on UBC Radio with me, Maureen Akatukunda. We're going to go for a very short break. Don't touch your dial. We'll be right back.
From the horse's mouth,
Dr. Marjorie Nasuna explains how an HIV-positive mother can protect her baby from contracting HIV.
Out there, people think that it's impossible to have HIV and give birth to a negative baby. But we are saying that this is possible. We need mothers to know their status. That's the beginning point. We need you to test when you're pregnant, such that you know that even if I may have gotten HIV, I can protect my child and my baby from getting HIV. We follow this mother up, we follow the baby up, we support the baby with Septrin to make sure just in case there is infection during that time because the mother is breastfeeding, the Septrin is going to protect the baby. So we give the mother Septrin, we weigh their babies, we monitor them, and we also take off blood. And when we take off blood, we take it 4 times. The first one is when the baby is 1.5 months. The second one is when they are 9 months. Because, during breastfeeding, as long as the baby is exposed, and the baby is exposed when they are breastfeeding, because HIV can go into the mother's milk. So at 9 months, we want to test and confirm. Then when they finish breastfeeding, we give 1.5 months and we repeat the third test. And the last one is at 1.5 years. And we discharge, we give you a certificate. It has been a success story because no one goes through that process that I've seen that comes out with a positive baby.
That was Dr. Marjorie Nasuna explaining how an HIV-positive mother can protect her baby from contracting HIV.
It's authentic, credible, and direct from the actual source. From the horse's mouths, playing here on UBC Radio.
At UBC Radio, all our radio network across the country is committed to inform, entertain, educate, and guide for national transformation.
On radio, UBC should set its own example. Leka bano abatafa ku bantu baffe bagumaza ndowooza muganda kito kugumaza to divert people. Let our own UBC bring programs to educate the people so that abagala kugumaza babeereyo bagumaza naye naffe they can advise, guide. And people in time will judge the one who is their friend and who is just using them.
Tune into UBC radios for credible socio-economic programs. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This is UBC Radio, the home of inspiration.
I welcome you back from that short break. I hope you enjoyed it. You're still listening to number 1 program, the Gender Forum program on UBC Radio with me, Maureen Akatukunda. Tonight we are looking at our great day, the International Women's Day. And as women on this program, we are so blessed. We are so happy. We feel so excited and energized that this is our week. This is our month. Yes. It makes us feel appreciated. It makes us feel that yes, we are, valued. So this year's theme is equal opportunities in education, science, and technology for innovation and a gender equal future. And we have been told what a gender equal future amounts to. We have been told so many things by our guest tonight, Lady Council Josephine is taking us through all these, breaking down the theme for us and everything that we need to know regarding this Women's Day. And now I would like to ask you, Council, take us through women inclusion in technology. Why do we think that women can't? And to an extent that when you see a lady doing courses like mechanical engineering, you're like, what? You're wasting your time. Like when you see a woman doing science, technology, something, you're like, can you even manage? Why do we think that these are meant for men?
Thank you so much. Well, about women inclusion in technology, I would say that gone are the days where some jobs were strictly tied in reality and opinion and imagination to the men. Uganda is a young country that is recovering from perception. We are trying to create a path where women can venture into into fields that were previously determined for the men. For instance, you just mentioned that women in technology, women doing mechanical engineering, telecommunication, it's actually quite strange that even in the simplest manners, for instance, if a woman was seen operating camera equipment for maybe a television station, a radio station, it creates different form of attention from what a man ordinarily would have received. But I am glad that there are steps that are being taken for women to be included in technology. For instance, if we look at the courses that are available today in the public universities, the private universities too, they advocate for women to join these fields. I'll say this without bias that in many different fields, women usually have an eye for detail.
Yes.
It is, for instance, if you employed a female lawyer or a male lawyer, both will deliver results, but the chances that the female professional observe something keen are higher than with our counterparts, the males. So when it gets to technology, in the face of the 20th century, I am glad that we are observing women taking up these different professions in these different fields, plus the fact that different forms of international conventions have advocated for women in technology. We are positively taking it up. We have very many international frameworks. For instance, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the SDGs, it strongly advocates for women inclusion in technology. You know, the UN Convention on Elimination of All Discrimination Against Women. Women are urged to take up professions without specifically determining which professions they take up. And just right here in Uganda, I'm glad that we have women that are included and that are representing us in such in the field of technology, you know. So it's a great thing that we are getting there, but there are still challenges. While we notice that women are being included in technology in Kampala or the surrounding areas, there is still a lot of work that we need to do to avail such similar opportunities to women up country, to women in the distant and deepest parts of Uganda, to access the same chances and opportunities in technology.
So, with that, I have another question for you, my dear. We want to look at science versus technology, because we usually confuse the two or even think they are the same.
Thank you so much. Well, basically, when we talk about technology, we talk about the advancement that we are experiencing, the digital era that has come with the 20th century. Believe me or not, in the 1970s or the 80s, before I was here, we used to hear stories that there used to be one radio and 4 to 5 households would collect one evening to listen to news update. But today in the 20th century, the same applies to the phones. We used to have, I don't even remember what they call them, these public phones, the landlines, you know, they would be stuck to a wall and you would have to line up to access the privilege of making a phone call. But with the 20th century, everyone has a mobile phone. It's more of a necessity than a luxury. And that is where the technology bit comes in from. The digital space has evolved over time. We have phones, we have computers, laptops. There is a lot of automotive technology, security equipment, even in the health sector. A lot of technology, artificial intelligence is being used. I don't know what used to happen back then, but even as you access offices, technology is used to ensure that you are a friendly visitor. But when it gets to science, science could combine technology, but science, in my opinion, is broader. It could involve different disciplines like agriculture, health, whichever field deals with any science as its foundation. And it's important to appreciate, especially in such modern day times, that science and technology are with us and we can't be without them. So as we celebrate Women's Day, It's important to take cognizance of the fact that women have to be included in science, in fields like health. We need more women as pediatricians because I believe we have special eye for children. We need more women in science fields like agriculture because we are the mothers of the nation and we should ensure that we are still its backbone. We need more women in technology, you know. So science and technology, I'm happy that this year's theme recognizes the fact that women need to be included. We need to advocate for them to take up positions in science and technology, fields which have been dominated by the males, for the country to have a gender equal future.
Yes. We are still on the gender farm and we are celebrating women. We are in the month of women and we are going to have more programs about women. That is how important women are. And the men celebrate these days more because women are your mothers, your sisters, your daughters, your everything, your source of happiness, your friends, your companions. So why not? And here on National Radio, we truly celebrate all the women out there. So, Josephine.
Yes, please.
It is such a great goal for us to wish that we can attain a gender equal future. But what are some of the challenges that are in obtaining this goal?
Thank you so much. It's a good thing to appreciate that Uganda has done quite a lot for the women, especially in science and technology. But there are still challenges that we need to address, and it is by identifying these that possibly we aim for better. I've mentioned one of them already. The first one is the fact that emphasis is given to Kampala, since this is the central business district, but and areas around. Chances are extremely high that if you walked in Kampala, Wakiso, Entebbe, these surrounding districts, chances are high that you'll find women in these fields, you know, in previously dominated male or masculine fields. But what are the odds that if you moved to Kanungu, to Koboko, to Chisoro, what are the odds that you find women aware of such platforms, aware of the different policies that support them, aware of the opportunities that are there for them in science and technology? Minimal. So the first challenge is we still need to emphasize decentralization of these facilities. How I wish that the opportunities available for women in Kampala, for women in the central where development has sparked off before the other regions, how I wish that the opportunities they have are exactly the same opportunities that women in the less accessible parts of Uganda have, because they actually need it as much as the women here do. So that's a challenge. Then we could talk about the levels of education amongst our women. Trust me, here in Kampala, we advocate women should go to school, and the country has supported this because there is a quota system currently whereby women are given 1.5 points to be admitted to universities. There is very many scholarships. There is very many organizations like FIDA where domestic violence and other issues that affect women are discussed. But the education levels amongst women still remain a challenge. There is something that education ordinarily does to the mind of a woman. A famous quote goes, when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Most women, especially in the less accessible parts of Uganda, have not obtained the privilege of an education. And that simply means that it's a challenge, because a woman that is not educated does not know her rights. A woman who doesn't know that a man is her counterpart will not aim for higher. So very many challenges. Discriminative mindsets, that's another challenge. We still have communities where they would rather educate a boy than a girl, where they would rather send a girl off to marriage, early marriages. So, cyber harassment, I think I shouldn't do without making mention of it. While we are advocating for women to take active part in science and technology, there is a lot of cyber harassment. Maureen, I have not seen, and I'll be specific, I've not seen any man's intimate pictures be released and social media goes up in arms or in excitement the way it happens when a woman is involved. I know it's because of the social attitude that a woman is supposed to be a certain way, but with cyber harassment, very many women are kept out of the loop of technology. You know, we have online platforms like Twitter where shaming of women has been made the order of the day. A certain category of women are discouraged from taking part or taking up their spaces with such technological advancement. So cyber harassment, it's a challenge. It discourages women from taking up their spaces. And maybe lastly, the cost of internet. Internet is expensive. Internet is not accessible to every woman in Uganda. If we look at the different forms of technology, like phones, that's another issue. The largest percentage of people that own mobile phones in Uganda are male. There is a study that has confirmed that position. But when we go into the nitty-gritties of internet access, what are the chances that if I traveled to out in the outskirts of Kampala or in the extreme corners of Uganda, what are the chances that I'll find 4G network internet access? And what are the chances that the people there can afford it? So all these are challenges that are deliberately pushing out women from actively taking up their spaces and participating in science and technology. Yeah.
So as we wind up our program today, do you think that the education system is helping us achieve this? Is it pushing us anywhere in that direction?
Yes, absolutely, I should say yes.
Apart from the other points that they give to the women and all that.
I should say yes and no. Uganda suffers from a problem of accountability. The facilities and the ideas, those ones we have. But how to implement, But with education, I should first of all commend the National Council for Higher Education. If we take a look at, and that's one of the entities or the institutions that help us with the syllabus formation and regulating of the education sector. It has brought about syllabus that includes science and technology into the different and various academic programs. And by this, different women and girls are getting the opportunity to learn about science, to learn about technology. So, in the education sector, I commend the National Council for Higher Education. Plus, if we look at the Makerere University Council 2019, the council passed affirmative action policy that was in the favor of female students and girls that were joining Makerere University. And I believe this policy has been adopted by very many public universities in same spirit. So with education, public universities are really ring-fencing vacancies for women, advocating that they are admitted, especially in science fields. Plus, we have the Uganda National Council of Science and Technology. The council is doing a commendable job in ensuring that the facilities of science and technology are not just simply availed to the entire Ugandan public, but to every single person and with keen interest to the women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We've truly come to the end of this wonderful edition of the Gender Forum program. But I would like to ask you, my dear guest tonight, what is your last word to the ladies? Because we've been trying to break down the theme and what is really entailed and the main areas of interest as to why they chose this theme. And that is done. But now to the ladies, what is your advice to a woman out there who wants to see them, who has dreams and goals, who wants to do better in life?
Thank you so much. to all the ladies, the women, and the little girls that are listening in right now, I just want to resound words of hope to your ears tonight, that as a woman, you are capable of achieving your wildest desires, your wildest dreams. You just have to be consistent, to take active and deliberate steps to achieve your dream. And that is regardless of your age, your social status. Use whichever chances you have to elevate yourself as a woman. Opportunities are always there, but like I prefer to say, have your shoes on, dear lady, dear woman of any age, dear little girl. Always have your dancing shoes on, so that by the time the music is playing, your dancing shoes are on and you're ready to dance to the tune of success. You're ready to dance to the tune of prosperity. Keep moving. Don't give up. There are good things ahead for every woman out there.
Thank you so much. And to me, me too, I really wish the ladies out there to be very confident. I wish you a happy Women's Day. I want to wish the ladies here that we work with happy Women's Day. My colleagues, Lorraine, I would like to wish you a happy Women's Day. Our station manager, Madame Smeta Allen. Our manager radios, Madame Des Doreen. Our HR, Madame Flavia and Madame Nalongo Felista. Very many ladies, so many wonderful ladies. My girls, Belina, Joy, everyone, and all the ladies that advocate and support fellow women, Diana, wherever you are. And to you, Josephine, I wish you a happy Women's Day.
Thank you, Maureen.
Wish someone happy Women's Day.
I want to wish you a happy Women's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you for steering the Gender Forum program. It has helped very many women. We are always discussing how to help women, how to add value. So I want to celebrate you today. Plus all the women all over the country, that the mothers, the sisters, the stay-at-home mothers, the women in offices, the women that wake up every morning to go to the garden, to go to their shops, the women that are still in search of employment, the women that are happy, plus the women that are depressed, the women that are handling a lot. I just want to wish every category of a woman in Uganda today a happy week, a happy Women's Day, and to encourage you that despite your situation, it will get better.
Thank you so much. And to the fathers that support the women,
they should celebrate us. I urge all the men that are listening in tonight to take extra time, extra effort, and celebrate the women in their lives this past day.
I want to appreciate the fathers that support women. On the Gender Forum, we have Mr. Frankie Gamasajege, we have Mr. Bachigundu, always supporting women on the Gender Forum. Thank you. And to all our bosses who consider us as ladies and give us favorable working space, thank you so much. The entire UBC management, we really appreciate. Our fathers who have raised us to be the great ladies we are.
Absolutely.
God bless you. God bless everyone. Women, be confident, believe in yourself. Life is what you make it, and the choices you make will redeem you.
Maybe I'll take this opportunity to wish my dear father, Council Luzige Joseph, a happy Women's Day, because he is the father to great women and he strongly advocates for women.
Oh, thank you. So, we've come to the end of today's edition of the Gender Forum. It's about the Women's Day edition. We wish you a happy Women's Day on Thursday. Enjoy yourselves, respect yourselves, and be blessed. It's on Wednesday. God bless you.
As Uganda works towards Vision 2040, UBC Radio is dedicated to the development of Uganda. Join us every day for transformative programs in English, Swahili, and Luo. This is UBC Radio. From the horse's mouth,
Esther Chozira of National Union of Disabled Persons in Uganda breaks down the types of human disability.
Out there, many people get confused of who a person with disability is, and when we come to elections, everyone wants to become a political leader. They want to enter into the structures because they see there is space there. But to Uganda and the World Health Organization that normally tells us who a person with disability is, and according to our Persons with Disabilities Act of 2020, we have about 8 disability categories that are broad in nature. We have persons with visual impairment. Those include that are low vision and those that are totally blind. We have persons with hearing impairment. Those include persons that are deaf and those that are hard of hearing. Then we have persons with physical disabilities. These are people who have any challenges with their limbs. It could be one leg, one hand, maybe polio, accident, back, anything that is affecting the bones, we put it under physical disabilities. Then we have persons with mental disabilities. These are persons that have mental illness but are living on medication to manage their disability. We have people that have bipolar, we have people that have schizophrenia. All those are members of mental disability. Then we have persons that have epilepsy. Some people think this is a medical condition, but it was approved that epilepsy causes disability, and many of them fail to perform their daily activities because of the condition. Then we have persons with albinism. I think we are all aware of who an albino person is. These are persons who are born without melanin in their bodies, so it changes their color. And in the community there, they think maybe they are Bazungu, but these are just part of us. It's only that they are lacking that component in their body. Then we have persons with dwarfism. In the human rights language, we want to call them little persons. These are persons that have short stature. They are below a certain height. We normally say anyone who is 4 feet and below qualifies to be a little person. Not every short person is a little person, so we need to qualify that. Then we have persons that are deaf-blind. Someone has 2 impairments. They don't see. At the same time, they don't hear. Then we have other persons like persons with cerebral palsy. Those normally belong to different disabilities depending on how severe it is. Then we have persons with intellectual disabilities. These have persons that have autism, Down syndrome, and many other intellectual issues that can not be easily seen.
That was Esther Chozira of National Union of Disabled Persons in Uganda, breaking down the types of human disability.
It's authentic, credible, and direct from the actual source. From the horse's mouths, playing here on UBC Radio.
This is UBC Radio. Tune in for news.
At UBC Radio, we bring you Uganda's latest news and information.
Focus on Parliament.
What we need to do, the Prime Minister must give us the position before we finalize with the budgeting process.
Enjoy sports. The environment. Politics.
The mission we have is socio-economic transformation.
Health. Entertainment. Updates in education. On the farm. Keep tuned into UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.